This is going rather well. No lions in the vehicle, no crocodiles disguised as logs, and the largest thing on the road is currently my hat. Then the forest makes a sound you feel through your shoes. An elephant steps onto the road, head high, 5 tons of muscle, memory, and extremely firm opinions about personal space. It is 30 meters away. The fastest reliably recorded elephant speed is about 6.8 meters per second. At that speed, 30 meters disappears in less than 5 seconds. Stand still. Run. Zigzag. Shout. Throw chili powder. Excellent. The internet has given us 5 plans, several of which contradict one another, and at least 2 of which could turn a warning into a disaster. So today we are doing something unusual for a survival video. We are not going to pretend there is one secret move that defeats an elephant. We are going to build the decision tree the viral videos leave out. Why elephants charge, how to read more than one body part, what changes when you are in a vehicle, what to do while there is still distance, and which famous escape tricks collapse when you put them beside actual elephant biology. Because the safest way to survive a charge is not to win a foot race against the largest land animal alive. It is to stop the encounter becoming a charge at all. There are 3 living elephant species in current conservation listings: the Asian elephant, the African savanna elephant, and the smaller African forest elephant. Smaller, however, is doing heroic work in that sentence. Even an elephant at the modest end of the scale is not an opponent. It is moving architecture. The trunk alone is a muscular sensor, tool, drinking straw, snorkel, grappling arm, smell detector, and occasionally a very persuasive argument. The tusks can lift, dig, strip bark, move objects, and inflict catastrophic injury. The feet do not need to be weapons, they merely need to arrive. And despite the lumbering cartoon walk we give them, elephants are not slow. Researchers analyzing thousands of strides recorded reliable speeds up to 6.8 meters per second, roughly 24.5 kilometers an hour. That is not the 40 kilometers an hour repeated in many survival videos. It is also more than enough. The important discovery is stranger. Fast elephants do not gallop like horses. Their footfall pattern changes in a way that makes the legs springier, but the whole body never enters a classic airborne phase. The internet hears that and says, "Aha! Too heavy to turn. Zigzag." The research does not say that. It says elephants have a distinctive gait. It does not transform a human into a tiny matador with infinite cornering ability. Also, the human nervous system under 5 tons of incoming elephant is not famous for drawing elegant geometry. The physical mismatch tells us the first rule. Do not plan around overpowering, outrunning, or outmaneuvering the animal in open ground. Plan around distance, cover, routes, and not being interpreted as a threat. An elephant is not waiting in the bushes hoping to eat a tourist. It is a herbivore navigating a landscape increasingly shared with roads, crops, homes, vehicles, livestock, and people. Charges can be defensive. A family may be protecting calves. A lone bull may be in must, a period associated with heightened reproductive activity and conspicuous dominance behavior. An elephant may be startled at close range, blocked from the route it wanted, crowded by vehicles, harassed, injured, or already stressed by repeated conflict. That context matters because most deadly encounters are not cinematic safari duels. In India, research covering 2009 to 2020 reported roughly 450 human deaths from human-elephant conflict per year. A newer national synthesis counted nearly 8,000 recorded deaths between 2009 and 2024, while warning that reporting and classification vary. One 23-year study in Chhattisgarh recorded 737 deaths and 91 injuries. The incidents clustered around forest edges, cropland, roads, settlements, and fragmented habitat. That changes the story. The elephant is not a random killer wandering out of perfect wilderness. People and elephants are being compressed into the same routes, often at night during crop seasons or along damaged habitat edges. So the real survival system begins long before ears flap or dust flies. Do not approach for a photograph. Do not feed. Do not block the animal's route. Do not squeeze between adults and calves. Do not assume a stationary elephant has failed to notice you, and if a ranger, guide, or local wildlife official tells you to stop, reverse, wait, or leave, their instruction beats this video. They know the species, terrain, recent behavior, and escape routes. We have a doodle beard. Survival videos love a clean binary. Ears out means bluff. Ears back means real. Loose trunk means safe. Curled trunk means charge. Real elephant communication is not a traffic light attached to one body part. Elephant Voices, which maintains a detailed elephant behavior database, describes visual communication using the head, eyes, ears, trunk, tusks, tail, feet, body height, orientation, and movement together. A threatening elephant may raise its head, stand tall, spread its ears, advance, toss the trunk, kick dust, or charge, but the meaning lives in combinations and context. Ears spread wide can make an elephant appear larger. They can contribute to a threat display. Ears also move for heat, attention, arousal, and communication. A trunk raised like a periscope may mean the elephant is sampling scent because it has not identified something clearly. Head position, the direction of travel, whether calves are present, whether the elephant has an open retreat, and whether you are moving all change the sentence. That last part is important. Field observations summarized by Elephant Voices note that elephants habituated to vehicles may ignore a stationary person beside one, then react when that person moves on foot. Their vision is especially useful for noticing motion, silhouette, posture, and contrast. To an elephant, your sudden sprint may not read as, "I respectfully withdraw." It may be the most interesting and alarming movement in the landscape. This is why trying to diagnose mock versus real from one frozen image is a bad gamble for an untrained visitor. The useful question is not, "Can I prove this charge is fake?" It is, "The elephant is uncomfortable. Do I still have enough distance to reduce the pressure?" If the answer is yes, use it. Here is a more useful way to think about the encounter. Not bluff versus real, but 3 shrinking zones. In the outer zone, the elephant is continuing ordinary behavior, feeding, walking, interacting with the herd. You are distant, predictable, and not blocking anything. This is where responsible observation belongs. There is no single magic radius for every place. 30 meters appears in Thailand's driving guidance, but vegetation, species, park rules, herd structure, and whether you are on foot can demand much more. A local minimum is not a target to creep toward. In the middle zone, behavior changes because of you. The elephant stops feeding, turns to face you, raises its head, tests the air, the herd bunches around a calf. Your vehicle is now occupying the route it wants. This is not the moment to wait for a dramatic charge, so the diagnosis feels certain. This is the moment to reduce pressure. Stop approaching, create space, clear the route, and follow the guide. The inner zone is the emergency. The elephant advances, threatens, or charges, and distance is collapsing. Notice what the 3-zone model does. It moves the important decision earlier when you still have options. The viral model waits until the elephant is running and asks whether its ears qualify you for trick A or trick B. The evidence-led model asks why you remained in the middle zone long enough to need either. A vehicle is not an invitation to crowd an elephant. It is a large, familiar shape that may give you separation if you behave predictably. Official guidance for wildlife zones in Thailand tells drivers to stop at least 30 meters away. Avoid horns, shouting, and flash photography. Keep the engine available, check all directions, and avoid sitting in a way that creates congestion. The exact distance and rules vary by park. The principle does not. Give space and keep an exit. Stay inside unless trained officials tell you otherwise. Do not lean out for the heroic close-up. Do not rev the engine as a challenge. Do not drive between a mother and calf. Do not form a metal semicircle with 6 other safari vehicles and then act surprised when the animal objects to being boxed in. Watch where the elephant is trying to go. Leave that route open. If you can reverse calmly and safely before the animal closes distance, create space without turning the road into a drag race. And remember that inside a vehicle does not mean invulnerable. Elephants can damage or overturn vehicles. The car helps because it can provide separation and controlled retreat, not because it grants diplomatic immunity. This is the moment most survival videos rush through, because prevention looks less exciting than a charge. It is also the moment where you still have choices. Stop closing the distance. Stay calm and quiet. Avoid shouting, sudden movements, or turning the encounter into a performance. Do not run simply because you have seen the elephant. Official guidance in Thailand advises a calm, slow retreat at this stage without turning your back, while using large trees or rocks as visual and physical separation. That does not mean walking backward forever while staring into the elephant's soul. It means create distance deliberately, keep awareness, and avoid the explosive movement that may increase alarm. Put something substantial between you and the animal when possible. A very large tree, a rock formation, a building, a secure vehicle, or another barrier appropriate to the place. Not a decorative shrub. And never forget the route. Where can the elephant leave? Where can you leave? Is a calf, another elephant, a fence, ditch, or second vehicle changing the geometry? The goal is not to dominate the encounter. It is to reduce pressure until both sides have somewhere safer to go. If you are with a trained guide, follow the guide. Do not split the group because one person remembers a tip from a thumbnail. Now for the answer nobody likes. Once a large elephant is genuinely charging at close range, there is no maneuver that can be guaranteed from a studio. Distance, terrain, cover, species, the elephant's motivation, the positions of other elephants, and whether you are in a vehicle all matter. That is not evasive. It is the difference between safety guidance and fan fiction. It is also why apparently contradictory advice exists. Do not run usually belongs to an encounter where there is still space to retreat without triggering more alarm. Move quickly to cover belongs to an emergency where a charge is already closing that space. Keep the engine running belongs to a vehicle in one authority's wildlife zone. It is not advice to rev at an elephant or to floor the accelerator through a herd. Strip away the stage of the encounter and every sentence looks universal. Put the stage back and the contradiction becomes a decision tree. If substantial cover or a secure vehicle is immediately available, separation is more defensible than an open ground foot race. Get a large obstacle between you and the elephant when the situation allows, and obey trained local instructions. Do not waste the remaining seconds attempting to identify a perfect ear angle. Do not approach, threaten, or try to fight an elephant. And do not trust a magic trick merely because it is easy to animate. Let us put the 3 most viral tricks on trial. The claim says elephants are so heavy they cannot turn, so a lighter human should weave from side to side. The locomotion research we reviewed does not establish that as an escape strategy. It measures gait, stride, limb timing, and speed. It does not say a charging elephant becomes a train locked to rails. Zigzagging also spends distance sideways, demands repeated decisions under panic, and may move you away from actual cover. We found no authoritative guidance supporting it as a universal rule. So Tooth and Claw will not tell you to bet your life on it. Experienced guides sometimes respond to particular warning displays in ways that look astonishingly calm. That does not make the behavior transferable to an untrained tourist in every habitat. An expert is reading the individual, group, terrain, distance, and history. A viewer is reading ears flappy from a 4-minute video. There are situations in which sudden noise or movement may worsen alarm. There are organized conflict programs in which trained teams use noise devices at planned distances. Those are not the same situation. Follow the local expert standing beside you, not the imaginary expert you became during breakfast. Elephants have an extraordinary sense of smell, and chili-based deterrents are real. Communities in conflict areas use chili fences, chili bricks, crackers, and other tools to discourage crop-raiding elephants. But these are organized mitigation systems. They are used with planning, teams, distances, and local knowledge. That evidence does not turn a pocket of loose chili powder into a proven last-second defense against a charging elephant. Trying to deploy an irritant at extremely close range means waiting until the elephant is extremely close. Wind exists, panic exists, eyes exist, and an angry elephant does not become a calm elephant merely because it is now angry and irritated. The viral source made chili the clever final reveal. Our reveal is less cinematic and much more useful. Do not import a farm conflict tool into a tourist emergency without evidence. Back to our elephant at 30 meters. The host does not square his shoulders. He does not sprint in a decorative lightning bolt. He does not season the wildlife. He notices that the elephant is standing beside a calf. He sees that the vehicle has stopped across the route the herd was using. He stays inside, kills the performance, leaves the camera alone, and calmly creates space while the road behind remains clear. The elephant was not a boss battle. It was an animal asking, with increasing volume, for the landscape back. That is the deepest survival lesson here. Human-elephant conflict rises where habitats fragment and routes overlap. The person in danger is often not a wealthy tourist choosing a safari angle. It may be a farmer guarding crops, a family walking after dark, or a driver on a road cutting through elephant movement. Better corridors, early warning systems, trained response teams, safer infrastructure, and locally designed barriers save lives on both sides. They are less clickable than one weird trick, but they address the encounter before 5 seconds remain. They also explain the chili story properly. In a crop field, a community may be trying to redirect elephants before they reach homes or food stores. The team may know the route, have warnings, carry purpose-built devices, and work from planned distances. The goal is to make one path unpleasant while leaving another path open. That is completely different from surprising an elephant at close range and producing a spice jar like a wizard. Context is not a boring footnote to the survival advice. Context is the survival advice. So, how do you actually survive an elephant attack? You respect the mismatch. You read the whole animal, not one ear. You separate vehicle advice from on-foot advice. You leave distance, barriers, and an exit. You follow the people who know that landscape. And you refuse to trade real safety for a trick the evidence never promised. The winning move was never outrunning 5 tons. It was refusing to turn a warning into a charge. If you want more animal survival myths put through the evidence grinder, subscribe to Tooth and Claw Arena and choose the next internet claim we should test in the comments.